Yeah. Hey. Hey. Well, yeah. Goonies never say die. You know what time it is. We got horror suspense. Listen, Kev and Trav digging in the bin. Dirty Dancing in Encino Man. You never know what you'll find in Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. He's got all these flicks from way back when. Marty McFly in the DeLorean. Gotta love the Cage and whatever he's in. Face off Snake Eyes, you know it's a win. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, Uncle Doug's bin. What's in the bin? Yeah, let's begin.
Welcome to Uncle Doug's DVD Bin, the podcast where we take your favorite movies, give you some facts, and tell you the plot, and there might even be, maybe, a few jokes along the way. I'm your host, Travis.
And I'm your host, Kevin.
Kevin, feels so good to be here. You and I just watched the saddest boat ride ever.
Cloyingly emotional ending there that it didn't feel like it was ever going to end. This film, Cocoon, has just that feeling of Return of the King where there's just ending after ending after ending, and you just go like, all right, we done now? Nope, more. Okay, all right, there's more.
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to end, but you know what? I'm glad that it did. But I'm also happy that I watched it.
Yeah?
It had been on my list for a while. It didn't end up actually turning out what I thought it was. I thought it was a bit more sci-fi and less grumpy old men go to space.
Okay.
It's okay. It's still, I thought it was fine. I had a few laughs, a little boring at times.
Yeah. I mean, it does beg the question, is if you're in space, can Wilford Brimley hear you scream?
I'm sure. I'm sure he does.
You think so?
Yeah, he's still up there, from what I can tell.
I don't know, Trav. You've been getting out there and trying to watch some classic films. Was this one that had popped up on your list of classic films?
No, not really. This is just one I've heard about a lot, and I figured it was time. You know, I just seen it around. You just see it's got an evocative cover. You're like, what's this all about?
Well,
I like sci-fi.
I'll be honest with you. I am glad that this one came out of the bin. Now, normally, you and I, we would just watch the movie the one time, which is totally irresponsible for doing a podcast about the movie, but that's just the way we roll. But this one...
We're not going to be watching it all, I think. This is low budget.
Yeah, that's right, man. Well, I've actually watched this one twice, and I was glad it came out of the bin because I sat down and I watched it with Uncle Doug, and I think he needed it.
Oh, yeah? Has he been having some hard feelings about his aging and his future?
Let me tell you, man. Honestly, I'm a little worried about our boy. I went over to his place, okay, and you got to park at the bottom of the driveway and walk up. I mean, you can't get a car up there. It's impossible.
Yeah,
and so
we talked about this. Yeah.
As I'm walking up, I just hear this guitar, like this acoustic guitar, and I kind of crest a little hill there, and I see, Doug sat out on the porch, and he's playing his Gibson Hummingbird, and he's just sipping some hooch, and so I just kind of nod to him, and he nods to me, and he keeps playing, and I sit down there, and he's playing this song, and I sort of pick up the other guitar that he has, and I'm kind of strumming along. I can't play that well, but I can play a little bit, and trying to keep up with him, and then all of a sudden, Travis, he starts to sing, and I swear to you, I got goosebumps all up and down my arms. I thought for a moment I was sitting there with the ghost of Hank Williams.
That good.
And it was this song that just reached inside me and just pulled out feelings I didn't know that I could have. And the thing was, he finished, and I wanted to say something. Like, I wanted to tell him how amazing this song. It was just this beautiful, sad ballad, about aging and grief and loss, and I couldn't think of what to say. And he said, "You won't read the words?" He didn't say lyrics. He said the words.
Sure.
And I said, "Yeah, I want to read the words to your song, And he pointed to the little table he had, and he had taken a carton of cigarettes, and he'd cut it down the middle, and he just used that for his notepad to write on, And these. Yeah. Now, I have it right here. You can see it in my hands, Travis. I'm going to read you the words to the song, and you better I mean, I don't know how many Kleenexes you got over there. You better pour a drink. You're going to need something. Okay?
Okay. All right, I'm ready. Yeah.
Now, first verse. All right? These years have flown by so fast. It's like a train a-steaming past. Time, oh, how it moves too quick. Like a candle burned to the wick. All right? Starting out strong. Okay?
To the wick.
Right to the wick, all right?
Isn't that where you start burning one?
This was it's burned down to the wick. There's just wick left, I think, is what he was saying. Yeah,
like no more wax.
Yeah, like no more. Like the candle's almost out. You know,
I
like,
see now.
It's It's a metaphor. It's a good one. I know it's subtle. It's tough. Chorus. Here you go. You ready? Life is so short, heartaches so strong. I'm living in days that'll soon be gone. The damned old truth, Lord, it makes me moan. The years roll on, and then we're old. Whew. Man.
Oh man, some of that even rhymed.
Yeah, I know. That was where it was catching me. Like that's where it started to catch me right in my chest. And then, man, he got on this one. He said, we wandered life's course. I can't forget the slammed door and the divorce. But now we're in a twilight shade where youthful times they start to fade. Man.
Damn, I didn't chalk him up to be such a poet.
Man, I know. He hits that chorus again, and then he gets this third verse. You gonna get the goosebumps. This is gonna do it. I know you got goosebumps. Okay.
Has Doug been using Chat GPT?
I don't know. Maybe that's where he got it from. But you know, Doug doesn't have a computer, right?
I know. That's what I was. It was kind of a joke, but part of me's like maybe.
I don't think so though. But why would he take it off of Chat GPT and write it down on a carton of cigarette?
Why wouldn't he?
That's a fair point. That's where I would put it. Well, let's just go ahead and bring it on home here. He says in verse 3, "We thought we'd live forever, friend, and never see our days of life come to an end. My love is gone, and I soon will follow. These hopes, just like my heart, were hollow."
Oh wow.
Yeah. What do you think of that?
I'm not real good at like interpreting lyrics or poetry. So is he sad?
Yeah, he was not in a good place. He's not in a good place. We do need to spend more time with him. He is not a young man anymore, and I think it's really weighing on him.
You know, I agree. I think we should spend more time with him. Maybe bring him a carton of Winston sometime and just hang out and watch some old NASCAR.
Well, we definitely need to spend more time with Uncle Doug. I think that's the takeaway. I think, we are, in our own small way, a steadying influence in his somewhat manic life.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, at least he's got this to listen to, whenever it comes out.
Yeah, well, Cocoon was released on June 21st of 1985, directed by, as you mentioned, Ron Howard. Writers were Tom Benedek, David Saperstein. Stars Don Amici, Wilford Brimley, Hume Cronin. I mean, got Jessica Tandy in there. I mean, this is you even got Clint Howard. Clint Howard's in this thing.
With a name like Hume Cronin, I mean, what could go wrong? You sound like a German word for crayon.
I mean, that is a pretty awesome name. Come on.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
So this is, in my mind, I've only ever seen this movie once when I was young, once with Uncle Doug, and now once with you. And I don't feel like I have a great grasp of what this film is. But what I do have a grasp of is 6 Degrees of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, I bet, Travis, this was one that was so stupid hard that you spent weeks since our last recording working on connecting Rambo to Cocoon. I mean, it had to be tough.
Yeah, I had my hat off. I scratched a dent into my forehead from thinking so hard about it. I was tracking Stallone to Amici. I was tracking, Stallone to the other guy, to Hume, And then I found the one link that I think's really going to blow you away, Kev. You won't believe the reach I had to make to connect these two movies. You ready for this?
Yeah, no, lay it on me.
All right. In Rambo, there was an actor by the name of Brian Dennehy.
Very familiar.
And in Cocoon, there's an actor by the name of Brian Dennehy. Turns out, same Brian Dennehy in both movies.
You son of a bitch. You son of I'm sorry. I didn't mean to use potty language with you, Trav. But the way you tried to trick me. You were saying it really slow, so I thought that it was more steps than it was. You big jerk.
Did it. Got it. Nailed it.
Just Brian. You're just gonna do Brian. That's it. That's all you got, Brian Dennehy.
I mean, what's the goal? It's to connect to my God. I did it.
It's just you got to connect it by more than one. You got to do it by more than
that was about 0 degrees.
0 degrees of Texas Chainsaw. That's
high score technically in golf.
I don't know if I should be impressed or angry.
You should be impressed.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna make the decision to be more positive. Trav, I've been trying to be more positive and uplifting and lift people up like Uncle Doug. So I'm gonna choose not to be irritated here. Everything's fine. You did a great job, bud. Thanks for doing the minimal amount of effort you had to. I appreciate that.
I will admit it didn't come to me immediately.
Really?
I did some digging before I was like, oh, right.
Well, I did tactically. I was afraid this might happen. I did tactically leave Brian Dennehy out of the cast listing earlier, but he is also in this movie. So
he's an imposing character. He stands out. You don't forget him easily.
He does. I like him, man. I can't think of a movie I don't like him in. He's such a likable character in every movie, right, Trav?
Man, when he was John Wayne Gacy, I tell you, I thought he was John Wayne Gacy for a long time. And sometimes if I close my eyes and I try to picture John Wayne Gacy, I just picture Brian Dennehy.
Wow, I'm sure he would really love to know that.
He passed away. But the creepier thing is how often I try to close my eyes and picture John Wayne Gacy. I think that's the worst part of all of that.
Yeah, if you could open your eyes right now, that would be great.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry.
That's that way you're not
I was doing it again.
Yeah. You didn't even know you were doing it, did you?
I just sometimes have to try it.
Kind of creepy. Yeah.
It's like someone says, don't cough, and you're like, but now I have to.
That's it. I can't stop the tickle of John Wayne Gacy in my throat.
Yeah, stop thinking about him. Like now you're thinking about him right now.
Now my eyes are closed. What happened?
Yep.
How did you do that, Travis?
Brian Dennehy.
God, jeez. All right. Well, at least he got us from one movie to another. Well, how about some of those letterboxed movie reviews that you go out into the wild to find for us here on Uncle Doug's DVD bin?
Yeah, people who loved it. 4.5 stars. This was a rewatch from Leo Ashton, August 2021. Leo says, "What if seniors did coke?" 5 star or 4.5 stars. Loved it, but just curious about what if seniors did coke?
I mean, all of the seniors that are in retirement communities in Florida right now, were young in the 70s, so I feel like a lot of seniors have done cocaine.
Probably, yeah. But this was filmed in the 80s, kind of at the height. But I'm sure they were still doing it.
Oh, yeah. Come on.
Yeah.
Everybody's doing cocaine. Everybody's grandma was.
I know mine was. I don't know that, but I hope she was. All right. Up next, we've got Allison, also a 4.5 star, also loving it. Watched it back in 2019. Says, old people being horny, going dancing, and doing cannonballs? This movie is Spielberg-level adventure /score/goodness with the sweetest of messages, and I don't see any of you talking about it. Several exclamation points.
I mean, we are talking about it, though.
We are.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I agree. Like, it's very rare I just run into someone talking about it already.
What situation would you just be walking around and someone goes, "Excuse me, sir, have you heard about the film Cocoon?"
Maybe near, like, some butterflies.
Maybe. And it's just
Cocoon.
Oh, there was okay. All right, there. Thank you. Yeah, I was about 3 steps behind you there, bud. I appreciate you catching me up to speed.
It's all good.
Yeah.
John Wayne Gacy. You thinking about him?
Oh my God, Brian Dennehy, he can't get out of my head.
People who are meh on it. We've got Boston Skinner, which is kind of a neat name. Back in 2018, a while back.
That actually sounds like a serial killer.
It does. Yeah, Boston Skinner here. 2.5 stars. I should have picked a better film to be the last one I watched this summer. And what's funny about this, Kev, is they watched it on August 19th of 2018. They got another month, and they're already like, this is probably the last movie I'm going to watch for like a month. Can't believe it was this one.
The fact that they would take the time to post that on Letterboxd rather than just, I don't know, watching another movie. Like,
Yeah.
if you feel so strongly about it that you have to commit it to the annals of the internet for all eternity, you could have just put in another movie.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, he probably did have to get to all those murders, though.
Yeah, the Boston Skinner never rests.
That's right.
And then up next, we got a measly half star from Ryan. This is the only name they've provided. Ryan, this is back in June of 2018. Brief moments of fun, mainly from the older cast members. Can't bail water fast enough on this sinking ship. Everything moves like molasses to the extent that I had no idea what the point of this film was even after it ended. If a crucial tenement of film critique is, was this film worth making? My answer regarding Cocoon is a resounding no.
Okay. All right. Look, I 100% get where he's coming from. The movie overstays its welcome for me by about 20 minutes. Definitely could have been tightened up. Did not need to be as long as it was. But the movie needed to exist. It's an interesting enough story. You've got some good characters. I mean, come on. Come on. You think about all the other trash movies that were made in the 80s, and you're going to sit here and just, what was it a half star, this movie? Get out of here, Ryan. Come on.
Ryan wasn't happy, but Ryan thinks he's smart.
Well, maybe he is.
You could tell. You could tell.
Oh, yeah. He used some polysyllabic words.
He sure did.
That means
tenement. Tenement.
That's a good one. That's a good one. But you know what? He doesn't impress me. The only thing that impressed me are the words I read on the inside of a cigarette carton.
You know what? Now I'm thinking about it. I don't even know if tenement is the right word to use there.
No? What would be the
tenet, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Is a crucial tenet of the... Yeah, I think you're right.
A tenement, I think, is just a room.
That's right. Yeah, stuff it, Ryan.
Ryan, you're so dumb.
Yeah. Probably was the last movie you watched in June of 2018. Last movie this summer, too.
Yeah, like the Boston Skinner.
Bunch of idiots.
Idiots.
Nobody's smart like us, right, Trav?
Let's get into it.
Heck yeah, man. Well, this movie opens with little Davy Dave, just looking in his telescope.
He's just looking through his telescope. I'd never owned a telescope. I can't relate to this. I was too poor. Back in the day, I used to have to use binoculars, and I'd look up and be like, I don't see anything that I don't see without the binoculars. So I was jealous.
I mean, while we're starting out with confessions, I also never had a telescope. I've never even to this day looked into a telescope, but I imagine I could probably just see whatever's in the sky anyway. What do I need a telescope for?
A fun fact, I actually do have a telescope now, and I never use it. So, joke's on me.
I mean, you could have invited me over for a telescope party.
You want to come over?
Hell yeah, that'd be fun.
We'll look for old people flying through the sky if you want.
That sounds good. But before we do that, let's just take a moment and appreciate how bad the visual... I don't think it's a green screen, but how bad the visual effect was of that telescope on the sort of night sky background. I don't know how they superimposed that stuff back in the 80s, but it looked rough. And then you get the beautiful title card, Cocoon, shot to outer space. Something's happening. A light's coming down from outer space into the ocean, and the dolphins, they are screaming about it.
Yeah, man. I was quoting that. Was it Live, that band? Can you hear the dolphins cry? I could in that scene. I could hear them.
Yeah, they were really upset, or possibly. I try not to use the dirty things, but
they were
aroused.
Sexually aroused.
There it is. Yeah. That's and that comes back later.
Oh yeah. Everybody's horny.
We get a little look under the ocean, and we see a sort of sunken city, former civilization, and that's you get that just those little nuggets right there is the opening of the film where we say, oh, maybe something a little supernatural, a little alien's going to happen later. Well, cut to something that to me seems very alien. 8 seniors went grocery shopping together and only came back with maybe a bag and a half worth of groceries. I'm not exactly.
These old people are tight, dude. They do everything together.
They really
roll
are
deep. They just want to go out for a ride. They want to cruise, listen to some Gordon Lightfoot, and head up the shopping mall. Hell yeah.
God, that actually sounds pretty awesome, man. And all of their groceries in the back of Ben's Cadillac have been sort of jostled about, and so they have to kind of sort those out. And we just get a little bit of an idea of what the different characters that we're going to be spending some time with is like. We meet Ben, his wife. We meet Joe and Art and his wife. You even got old Bernie there with his wife Rose, who has, I'm assuming, a form of dementia. You kind of get a little taste of that in that she introduces herself to Joe, who she has known for presumably a while.
Yeah, and I guess if we could make the characters stand out more, Wilford Brimley is... Sorry, which one is he?
That's Ben. He's Ben.
He's Ben, right? So he's like the sort of the gruff, tough love, sort of gives you like old Navy officer grandpa feels. And then there's Don Amici, who's more of like the suave, I don't know, maybe even the more athletic of the bunch. And then there's Joe, who's kind of a firecracker, and but also suffering from an ailment that we'll be exposed to later. But they do have distinct character types.
Well, and I did say Art was in that scene with the groceries. He wasn't. He shows up in the next scene, though. Him and Ben are wearing their shortiest of short swimming trunks to go swim in this pool that they've been breaking into. But before they get there, they walk by, and the dance instructor at this retirement community is like, "Hey, Art, how you doing?" And he's like, I'm doing pretty good." And she's like, "We could use some men in here." And he says, "I'll let you know if I find any."
Yeah. And then he brags that he's already had some relations with this lady, told Ben. And Ben calls his bluff, which I just like. I like the camaraderie that these characters come packaged with.
I do,
you
too.
already know that they're longtime buds.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm hoping that you and me and Harvest Black end up at a retirement community in Florida.
Yeah, man. I hope we're wearing shorts this short too.
It wouldn't be a good time unless we did. Well, on the way to go swimming in this pool that they've been breaking into, they drop off some Little Debbie cakes with their pal Pops, and we get just a smidge of dialogue when they meet up with Joe, where we find out Joe has the cancer.
Yeah, he's not doing great. So he's, understandably just a little put out by the whole thing.
Yeah, nobody likes that. Well, they get in, they break into this, and I'm trying to think of how to phrase it. It's like a nice palatial, but like a nice estate that has been sort of vacant, and there is a well-maintained swimming pool inside of it. Because presumably there's some groundskeepers that kind of keep an eye on the place. So they've been breaking in and going swimming as just something kind of naughty to do, or something that just gives a little pep in their step.
I love that. I love the idea of three old dudes who want nothing more than to just hang out and go break into shit and swim around. It's just so cool. We just don't, you don't see that in a lot of movies. It's usually the youngins getting up to the hijinks. We got three old guys and they even admit later, like, it wouldn't even be fun if they didn't have to break in.
Like I said, you, me, and Harvest, it's going to happen. We're going to be breaking in every pool in Florida. That is if the global warming hasn't, flooded the entire state. But that's
not interested in Florida. But we can break into any pool you want. There's plenty around here.
Yeah. We don't even have to go to Florida, do we? Well, they hop in the pool. It's a little chilly, but they still enjoy their swim. Now, we go to the next scene, and we meet Jack Bonner, who is a tour guide, has his own fishing boat. And he takes a couple of guys out, and they're upset that they didn't catch any fish, so they only pay poor Jack half of the fee that they had agreed on. Like, he controlled, fish for some reason. And then the harbor master, I guess he's not a harbor master. He's more like the guy that owns...
Is that a thing? Can you be a harbor master?
Yeah, that's a thing. But I don't think this guy is. I think he's just a guy that owns the dock that Jack's trying to park at. And
so he's a dock master.
He's a dock master. He has mastered his dock many times. And so he takes away the money that Jack just made. And so Jack is there destitute, no monies for which to buy food, clothing, shelter, or most importantly, beer. And that is when Walter, Brian Dennehy's character, shows up and says, "Hey, you know what we'll do? We'll pay you for the use of your boat for 27 days, not 28, not 26, but specifically 27. Now, there's a shot in this scene, Travis.
Yeah.
Where Jack Bonner, who is played by Steve Guttenberg, is wearing a pair of shorts so short, and it's shot from below. I'm pretty sure I saw Steve Guttenberg's Gutenberg.
Yeah, you could almost see his bottlenose dolphin way up there.
Man, he took you to Police Academy and back, if you know what I mean.
Whew. Those shorts are so small in this movie.
They are. I don't know if that's how they saved on budget. They're like, you know what we'll do? We'll just have shorter shorts. That way we don't have to pay for all the fabric.
Yeah. You know how much we paid that dolphin choreographer? Way too much.
I don't know. The dolphins add, a lot to me. I like them.
Sure. But they cost a lot of money, and we could save a little bit more by taking an inch or two off of those shorty shorts.
Yeah. What do you think a dolphin trainer costs an hour?
I mean, back in 1985, I don't know, we're talking maybe $400 an hour.
Wow. I was not expecting that much. That is, we hired a dog trainer, and she was like $35 an hour.
Yeah, but she's training your dog. You don't get her to train your dolphin. She's bringing her own dolphins to this.
Oh, that's a good point.
You know?
Yeah, there's
they gotta
probably...
eat. They gotta eat that chum or whatever it is.
Yeah, whatever dolphins eat.
Chum ain't cheap.
That's true.
I've heard that.
If I've heard it once, I've heard it 1,000 times.
Chum ain't cheap. You've heard it 2 more times there.
That's right. Well, Ben's grandson, David, the little boy that we saw earlier looking through the telescope, shows up for a rousing game of shuffleboard. Apparently, he just really loves hanging out at the senior community.
He's a good boy. It's played by Barrett Oliver, who played Bastian in Neverending Story that we covered last season. So check that out. How about that?
I will check that out. Yeah, we were watching this and we were trying to figure out who he was and where we knew him from. I don't know why it took us so long to realize he's the little boy that made us ever so sad.
Yeah. I did name every 80s child movie just to cover my bases. I'm pretty sure he was in E.T. Nah.
You did?
Definitely Goonies. Nah. Maybe it was Indiana Jones. Nah. 16 Candles? Nah. I was going to get it eventually.
Yeah, you got in the neighborhood at least. You knew he was an 80s child actor.
Yeah.
So anyway, moving along, we find out that the fellows are trying to go swim in the pool. They're going to bring little David with them. However, Walter, Brian Dennehy, and his partner in crime, Kitty, and the 2 guys that I don't think are ever named, but they're just part of the Walter crew, we'll call them, have rented out the house that they were going to go swimming in. So now there's going to be some residents there. So, they decide not to break in and go swimming. Well, in the next scene, we see Walter and Jack Bonner, Steve Guttenberg's character, out on his boat, and Walter's saying, hey, we need to go dive in this very specific location. Check out this really technical, high-tech map I have.
Really weird map. And, Jack Bonner, he's not going to let him think that he doesn't know what he's doing because he wants some money from this.
That's right.
So he's like, yeah, I've seen these before. These are from Japan, these kinds of maps. It's clearly not a map that anybody's ever seen on Earth in 1985, but it's pointing out I guess just a zone in the ocean where they want to deploy to scuba, but it doesn't look like technology that Jack's used to, and he's a boat guy. He would know, right?
Yeah, I think he would know, but he does pretend to know. Just as a sidebar, how much more would you like this movie if instead of Jack Bonner, it was Jack Bauer?
Yeah, or Jack Boner. That'd be pretty sweet.
I mean, we could just call him Jack Boner if you really want to.
I was also thinking back, not related to Jack Boner at all, but Walter, the Brian Dennehy's character, he refers to, he just tells them that he and his crew, Kitty and the 2 unnamed creeps that hang out with them, they say that we're just cousins who like to vacation together, which... That would send up way more red flags to me than if he had just said, we're aliens from another planet.
Y'all don't go vacationing with your cousins?
We're just cousins who like to vacation. Is that for a month at a time? For a month at a time.
Yeah, that is an odd statement. I'm glad that but I mean, they're aliens. They don't know any better. They just think all cousins go on vacations together.
I guess.
I think the moral of the story is if you wave enough money around, no one will care if you're on vacation with your cousin.
Yeah, that's fair.
So Walter shows Jack where to go. We pop to the next scene and we see poor Ben. He's failing his eye test to get his license renewed, so he's not going to be able to drive anymore, and he's a little bummed out about that. So he heads home and he's putting a car cover over his car and talking to his grandson. And his daughter comes up and says, "Would you like to go out for dinner?" And he says, "Yes, but no Italian because it makes me fart."
Yeah, of all the, I guess, cuisines to cause a fart in a man, I guess Italian ranks high for him. Not for me.
Yeah, no, I'm fine with Italian. It wouldn't bother me a bit, But maybe the Italian's different in Florida or something. But
could be.
We see that scene. It kind of fades away, and we're back on the ocean with Walter and his company are pulling up these strange-looking, weird rocks from the bottom of the ocean in that sunken city that we saw in the opening scenes of the film. Now, Trav, I'm going to go ahead and spoil something for you right here. Those are actually cocoons.
Oh, God.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I bet that sunken city is Atlanta. Huh?
Yeah, the sunken city of Atlanta. That's right.
I knew it.
Yeah, that's where the Braves used to play. I guess they still play there, don't they?
No, they moved stadiums.
No kidding. Oh, where are they at now?
A different stadium.
Oh, okay. The one that's not underwater?
Yeah.
Probably a good call. It's so much easier to hit the ball, though, when it's moving underwater.
Yeah, it's true. Slower.
How did we get here? How did we get to this really dumb baseball analogy that I'm making?
I don't know. But I will say the cocoons didn't look like what I thought cocoons were going to look like in this movie. They just look like rocks with garbage on it.
That's true. Well, I mean, it is the Florida coastline, so there's probably a lot of like plastic 7-Eleven cups, everything else mixed in there.
And they also look like they'd be super heavy, but the people are just picking them up, carrying them around. Like they look like boulders. But there's not much to them.
I mean, I was figuring that was like alien technology. It's like it looks like a rock, but really it's just super light.
Yeah, super lightweight.
I don't know how alien magic works, but I'm just going to assume that's how it works. Well, the boat crew has loaded all this stuff up, and they're then unloading them at the rental property that they have that has the swimming pool. And the fellas, the senior crew, they're out there spying with their binoculars, which is 100% one of the most believable things I've ever seen in a movie. My grandmother, as a senior citizen, would spy on every neighbor she had. She had like a set of binoculars in every window that she could kind of like watch. She didn't have to remember where she left her binoculars. She just went right to creeping on her neighbors.
Wow, was she paranoid? Was she running like a drug operation? Because that's what these guys think happened. Right. They peer over there at the rental property and they're like, "Oh, I bet they're a bunch of drug runners. They did a drop somewhere in the middle of the ocean, and then this guy came by and scooped it up in his boat. They're taking it into the house."
That's right.
Honestly, I was like, that was probably where my mind would have went to.
I mean, yeah, again, you got the Florida coastline, right? A lot of drugs come in that way. So, but they decide, this is sort of a bizarre chain of reason. They're like, you know what? If they are drug dealers, I feel just fine about sneaking into their pool. So they go back to the pool, and they're within the pool, they discover these large rocks with, seashells and so on and such on them, as you alluded to, Travis. And
cocoons,
they say, the cocoons. And they say, no, I will not be stopped from my swimming. So they get in. First thing first, they notice how warm the water is. Then they swim around a little bit, and they start feeling froggy, don't they, Trav?
They start feeling good, man. And also, like, you're right, there's a couple things that would have knocked me right out of going into the house. One, if I thought they were drug runners, I'd be like, well, that's just their problem. I'll find another pool to break into. But also, I don't know that I would have gotten in the water with those ugly giant rocks in there. They look like dirty, scraggly things that I would brush my leg on or something and be rough going. But they have no qualms about getting in there, and then youth-like magic takes over, Kev. They turn into spry young lads. There's a whole montage of splashing and jumping and high diving and flipping and just kind of fun.
Yeah. And one thing that I would like to point out is that Wilford Brimley was only like 49 when he got cast to be in this movie.
Which is nuts.
And so they you can very clearly see they dyed his hair like a very light shade of blonde to try to make him look older than he is. And he does. I mean, it's a good performance. I mean, you would buy that he's a senior citizen.
Yeah, it's crazy because I think Don Amici and Hume Cronin were each like at least 25, close to 25 years older than Wilford Brimley, but they're all supposed to be the same age. And it is well done.
Well, they are feeling pretty amazing and youthful out after their dip in the Cocoon pool. Now, Travis, I'm trying to think of a delicate way to say this. They have a conversation when they're walking back about their
Jack Boners.
Their Jack Boners.
They have Jack Boners, and it is a very frank discussion.
This
is what I like about these guys, though. I like that they come prepackaged with sort of that openness that only three close dudes have. Where he's like, dude, I'm freaking hard as a rock. Cat can't even scratch it. And then they're all quipping about how rock hard they are as senior citizens. And I don't know, just crack me up. There's something about that. It's just like, man, I hope I'm still just quipping hard like that in 40 years.
Well, I want you to know this, Travis. When we move to Florida and live in this retirement community in my mind, we're not talking about our.
I might have to find new friends.
Oh man,
I'm gonna have to get some boner buddies to go down there with.
Yeah, you could just hang out with your boner buddies on Tuesdays, and then like hang out with the classy, sophisticated gentlemen the rest of the time.
Sure, yeah, we'll play board games all night. Yeah, okay, without boners. Get out of here.
Why do you hate board games so much, Travis? They're great.
I just love boners.
Oh, okay, all right. So it wasn't a hate. It was balanced with something you really love. Okay, I got you. Okay. Well, let's just say that youthful feeling extends to when these gents get back home to their ladies. Both Art and Joe surprise their ladies with a little pom pom, and Ben and Joe are the married ones. They surprise their ladies with a little bang, bang, bang. And Art goes and he finds that dance instructor, doesn't he, Travis?
Yeah. He didn't want to be left out, and he's got urges. I bet, some of those, there's some hip replacements on back order after this night. I'm sure they went at it.
That's right. I bet they had a great time, and good for them, man. Well, the next morning, there's just a really short scene where all the ladies are having like breakfast together and playing like I think mahjong maybe, and all of the ladies are extremely satisfied and in a very good mood, except for poor Rose because Bernie did not go swimming in the pool, so she has dementia, but she's also just confused why the other ladies are in such a darn good mood. Well, the boys decide to go swimming again, and one of them says, do you think there's like cocaine in the pool? And they decide if it is, it's worth the risk.
Yeah, let's go get it.
So they hit that pool and they are feeling fine. They get their swim in. Well, we jump out to see the boat, and there's this weird alien technology thing sitting on the boat while the others are diving. Jack is left alone with it, and I don't know. He sets off the alarm on the alien fax machine. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know the purpose of the machine either. Never really got that. What's it do?
The only thing I think is it like maybe monitors where the pods are or the cocoons or something, because they use it later in the movie as well for a similar sort of thing. Well, Jack is just very suspicious of these the Walter crew. He sets off this alarm on this alien fax machine, and then he goes down into the bottom of the ship, and he's I guess you would call it the hold, maybe. I don't know ship terms.
You don't know ship terms?
No. What do you think it's called?
Yeah, that's what I would have called it.
Yeah,
the cabin, the hold.
Yeah, they're holding stuff in it. So I mean,
the cocoon hole.
There you go. I like cocoon hole. So he goes down to the cocoon hole, and he's sort of like trying to get these covers off of these cocoons so he can see what they are. And Kitty, who is one of Walter's crew.
One of the cousins
comes down, and she's like, what are you doing? He's like, I was just moving this air tank. And she's like, hey, we can't tell you what's in there. And he's like, come on, please. And then she lies to him and says there's snail shells. They're large snail shells, and he just buys it.
Yeah, which would freak me out because those snails would be about the size of a VW bug. Like that's big. That's a big snail. I would know about that. Like I've already seen that on TV if it existed.
Look at you bragging about how many nature documentaries you've watched about snails.
That and butterflies.
I don't know, man. I feel like there's probably some giant creatures out there that we don't know about, especially in the ocean. I mean, it's so deep.
I guess you're right.
Yeah.
So, I guess you're right. I guess me and Jack Boner are equally as gullible.
And then there's this bit where he drops I don't know how he manages to do it, but he drops this air tank on his foot, and he really hams it up. He's like, "Oh, this is the worst thing ever. Oh man!" And then Kitty gives him a little foot massage that magically heals his foot.
Yeah.
You want to go out on a date? And she says, "I can't. I'm not like other women." He's like, "Oh no, you think I just want to have sex with you, but I just want to."
He even says, "I just like to get to know you like a human being."
Ooh, and then that's when she clams up, shell pun intended, and walks away, almost as if she's not really a human being, Travis.
Yeah, what a lucky thing, or I guess unlucky thing to have said at that moment.
Yeah, seems like a bad play, but you know, what are you gonna do? Well, we see the next day Joe is back at his doctor, and the doctor tells him that cancer you had, total remission, totally gone. It's a miracle. We don't know how it happened, but it's amazing.
Man, that's got to feel pretty good. You got to go hang out with your boys. You got a big bunch of boners. You shared one of your boners with your wife, and now your cancer's gone. That's a good weekend.
Oh man, it sounds like a good weekend, minus talking about your boners with your friends.
What?
That's boner friend time, Travis. We're not doing boner friend time. So, speaking of, they go to the big ball, and the fellas surprise their ladies, including even Bernie, with some corsages, so, like it was like the junior prom.
Yeah, everybody's really happy hanging out. Big old bands playing. Old people do weird stuff. I don't know. I'm wondering if, like, when you and I are hanging out and switching off friends between Boner Tuesdays and whatever you and I are going to do you think they'll have big bands playing off on the side, or will it just be like, will it be something our age? Would it be like Limp Bizkit cover bands and stuff?
I hope it's a big band that covers Limp Bizkit. Now,
Okay.
yeah, I got you again, don't I? Yeah, you're not wanting to hang out with your boner friends anymore. You're wanting to hang out with the biscuit friends.
Yeah, it won't be ballroom dancing. It'll be like baller room dancing.
Yeah, man, we'll be rolling. So they start to dance with their ladies, and we got a little look at Joe's wandering eye, don't we, Travis?
Joe, I mean, he's in remission, so he's feeling pretty good, pretty feisty after that dip in the pool, and now it's like his sights are set high, dude. He's gazing at any lady who walks by, no matter what age.
That's right. Well, the fellas are out there; they're dancing up a storm, and poor Bernie and Rose, he's a little upset that he can't get out there and dance like the other fellas because he's kind of tired, and that slight little bit of resentment might come back later. Trav, you just put that up, make a little mental note there.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, in the next scene, I don't know any delicate way to put this, but Jack back on the boat is working on the engine, and he does a little creepy pee-pee, doesn't he?
Yeah, he I will say overstepped. He got a little too curious. Which tried to do a peek on Kitty, who was getting undressed there in her cabin. But I gotta say, she undresses a little more than he expected.
That's right. She takes off her human skin, and underneath she's a glowy alien.
Yeah, which, in that case, like, Jack didn't see that one coming, so he kind of got what he deserved.
He really did. And you can see him like fighting with himself. He's like, don't look. And he's going to lose the battle. And he looks, and that's when, boom, shiny alien pops out of the skin. And I would say this is the the genesis of him doing what I like to call wigging out. He just wigs out. He's screaming. He knocks things over. He comes out of the engine compartment holding a blowtorch, and Walter's crew is like, "Hey, bud, maybe settle down a little bit. Let's talk about this." And Jack continues to wig out. He tries to run away. He tries to crank the boat up to do something. He's trying to get his dinghy in the water so he can escape. He's trying to do anything he can do, and he finally decides to jump in the water and try to swim after Walter, Brian Dennehy's character, peels back a little bit of his, which was super creepy. Did you think that was creepy? He peels back a little bit of skin around his eye and says, "You never know who you can trust." Yeah! That was creepy.
Yeah, it's like the guy's already scared. Were you trying to earn his trust? That's not a good way to do it.
Would you? Okay, so let's say you're on a boat with Brian Dennehy, John Wayne Gacy, and he peels back a little bit of his eye skin. You jumping into water trying to swim for shore?
I would have already be in the water. I would have been at 45 minutes prior to that. As soon as I found out he was on the boat, I'd have been like, I'm in the water. That's John Wayne Gacy we're talking about.
Trav, could you open your eyes again? Sorry, you're doing it again. Yep, there we go. Much better. All right. Well, eventually, Walter convinces Jack to come back on the boat, and Jack realizes he can't swim that far to get back to shore. So they sit down, and this is where we get the backstory of the aliens. They are Antarians. They had set up some sort of like outpost on Earth, and it got flooded. And so their compadres are in these cocoons, I guess in sort of like a stasis kind of situation. And this was like thousands of years ago. They've been in these cocoons. So they come to pick them up and try to get them back to their home planet, or to get them home. And there's one little bit in here I really like, is that Jack takes a moment and he says, "Yes, I will help you. You guys, like, you know, even though you're aliens, you seem like you're all right. And it doesn't hurt America."
Uncle Doug specifically liked that part. He wanted you to point it out too. He's like, make sure Kev talks about that America bit. That made me proud. So good job, Kev.
That's right. Maybe Jack Bonner has a little bit of Jack Bauer in him.
Maybe.
All, you know?
Yeah.
Well, the fellas take Bernie. They finally convince him. They say, "Bernie, listen, you got to come swimming with us. It's going to make you feel like $1 million." So they finally convince him to at least go to the pool area with him, but they cannot convince Bernie to get in the pool. He sees those rocks, and he has much the same reaction that you do, Trav. Like
yeah, they're scraggly and gross. I don't want to be in the water with those nasty things. What are they, dinosaur eggs? No thanks.
That's right. So he opts to just sit on the shore and watch everyone, or not the shore, the side of the pool, and watch everyone else have fun. While they're doing that, Walter and his company, they must have wrapped up earlier than they normally do. So they come home early, and the fellas see them getting out of the boat, and they're like, "Oh, quick, hide," so they don't see us. And so they all hide in a closet, and the aliens at this point drop the cocoon that they've collected that day into the water, and then they all start peeling off their skins and getting all glowy.
Yeah, and it's a real jarring effect, I think, to watch. But because there's kind of it's at odds with a lot of the practical effects, which look really good, because you got the skin coming off and they're tossing it in the box, and there's kind of got this, it doesn't look all that good, but passably as human skin. But then there's also like this flying Tinkerbell aspect of their shapes when they're not in skin, where they're just blindingly glowing and flying around on the screen. It looks almost like a bed knobs and broomsticks moment. It's weird, man.
Yeah, and like, why do these aliens? Well, they eventually, obviously, once they pull their skins off, they spot the crew, the fellas, in this closet, and then of course the fellas get outed, and they are terrified by the glowing aliens, and they all run away. Now, my question is, why these aliens only see people when they naked?
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. I don't know.
Like, do you think that the human skins that they're wearing, like, they kind of make it hard for them to see?
Maybe.
And that's the only reason they can spot people that are hiding and peeping on them?
I don't know. I didn't put all that together myself. I don't know if it's ever explained. But potentially, yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's like wearing sunglasses, and then you take it off, and they're like, "Oh, wait a minute, who's that over there hiding, trying to look at us?" Because that's how Gutenberg got caught. As soon as Kitty came out of her skin, she immediately looked over, saw him looking through the peephole. And then these guys got busted in the closet. So I don't know what it is.
That's right. Well, the fellas head back to the retirement community, and they call the police, and they say, "Hey, look, these guys are aliens." Obviously, nobody believes them. I mean, the police are never going to believe they're aliens, and so the fellas are too scared to go back. And then all of a sudden, they start to slow down. They start to get older again, and Joe, his cancer's coming back.
Dang, man, cancer just don't wait. It won't even wait for like a full 20 minutes of a movie to chill.
No.
Cancer was back at him as soon as it could be.
Yeah, it was almost like the writers of the film needed a reason for them to go back and interact with the aliens in the pool. And so
That's what it felt like to me. Yeah.
What happens is Ben goes and asks Walter. He says, "Look, can we use the pool? We really need it for Joe. He's dying. You know, it would help him. Can we please do it? We're just a bunch of old farts. Nobody will even know about it." And Walter knows he's making a mistake, says out loud, he's like, I make a mistake every 10,000 years or so, and I'm about to make one. Sure, you guys can use the pool. You're like, if you know you're making a mistake, what are you doing, Walter?
Yeah, he's like, yeah, sure. You're right. This is the fountain of youth. You guys can use it, but just you guys. Don't tell anyone. Like, how tempting would it be? Like, you're on your last leg. I don't know about last leg, but they're older, and they live in a community with all of their friends who are older and dying and getting up there in age, breaking down. You're not going to crack that secret at some point? Be like, hey, we got some pool over here that'll help you feel vibrant and young again. You're probably going to let that leak. I would think. Would you keep it to yourself if you knew where the fountain of youth was and all your friends were ailing and failing and you had this good secret but you couldn't tell anybody? I might let them know.
Oh, but Travis, I don't know where a fountain of youth is.
God damn it.
So anyway, the next scene, it's been agreed upon that they're able to use the pool as long as they keep it quiet, right? So they bring their wives this time, except for Bernie. Bernie doesn't let Rose go, even though she's gotten all dolled up, got her like her little camisole and her swimsuit on. Bernie says, "No, I'm not going to go because it's unnatural," and so they don't go. But everybody else goes swimming, and even one of those floating aliens shows up and waves at them in the pool while they're swimming.
Yeah, which is no less creepy than you can ever imagine it to be.
Yeah, and for some reason the alien's wearing a red bathrobe over top of their shining. I don't know. I
don't get the point. I didn't get the point of that. It was weird.
I mean, I guess maybe they were just being a little more modest. Who knows? But they're having a great time swimming in the pool. That's the most important thing. Then there is a just really unnecessarily long montage of, there's some fun stuff in here, don't get me wrong, but just them doing young things. Like, now that they're back in the pool, there's just them out doing lots of young stuff.
Some of it was fun. You get to see Wilford Brimley's character go and just nail that eye exam that's been keeping him from driving for a while. Goes up, reads the bottom line to the point that the guy giving him the test is like, "What are you reading?" He's like, "Oh, wait, you read the bottom line. Whoa." You get out there, they're running around, they're dancing, hopping, having a good time. It's fun. It could have been about 4.5 minutes shorter, maybe have some more Kenny Loggins in the background, but it was fun.
They're doing all kinds of wacky stuff like climbing trees, and then Joe's out meeting a waitress. That'll come back later, but just put a pin in that. Oh, and also there's the most ridiculous breakdancing scene of all time. So just enjoy that 80s montage of youthfulness. Well, we get a little quick scene where Pops, you remember the guy that got the little Debbie cakes? He is a little suspicious of Ben and Art's youthful behavior. He says, "I know you guys are up to something. You've figured out some way to feel younger." And they're like, we don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're like, has Viagra come out yet? I'm not sure if that's anachronistic, but that's what it is. That's all it is.
That's basically, it's just space Viagra.
Just that and Gatorade. A lot of Gatorade.
Speaking of space Viagra, Jack and Kitty are out swimming with those dolphins again, and they hop back on the boat, and they're kind of talking a little bit. By the way, anytime the aliens are near the water, there's always going to be dolphins. Just that's a given. We don't even need to mention that anymore. Well, poor Steve Guttenberg here. He's trying his level best. He says, "Listen, I really like you. I feel special when I'm with you. Can we do like a bang bang? And Kitty's like, I'm sorry, I have alien anatomy, so like I can't do the thing that you're thinking, but I can do something else. And Travis, why don't you tell us? Why don't you tell us what that something else is?
Yeah, pretty good. No,
Travis, I've told you 100 times, no ding dong jokes.
She takes him over to the Fountain of Youth pool, and it seems like it's going to be one of those sultry scenes where two young, good-looking folk take their clothes off on opposite ends of the pool and walk toward each other, make a vigorous love right in the middle of a pool. You're like, that's not the best place to do it, but whatever. And that looks like it's about to happen. But she's like, actually, you need to not touch me. You need to be back over there and just hold on a second. And then she just unleashes the fury of light orbs out of her, and they ping pong off all the walls. Ping pong, ping pong, ping. Like, what the hell's going on? And then it's one boom, hits him right in the chest, splat right gets him. Like he got like a ghost entered him. And then he's like, well, was that as good for you as it was for me? She's like, that's how we do it.
Yeah. I mean, he did seem pretty satisfied by the whole thing.
Yeah.
So I guess he got what he wanted after all. But, man, it is... I definitely laughed out loud. It is really funny to see Steve Guttenberg half naked, like in some form of ecstasy.
It was like a reverse exorcism. It was... weird.
It was odd. Well, once that weirdness was over, and like that didn't even need to happen. Like they could have just like shared a nice kiss and it been like, yeah, that's but whatever.
There's so much of this movie that didn't need to happen.
Oh my God, there's at least 25 minutes of it. So they the crew, the fellas and their ladies have been out on the town and won a bowling trophy. I guess it was like a couples bowling thing. I don't know. But Ben has started to worry Ward a little bit, and he says, hey, I'm kind of worried, us out acting all young and that sort of thing is gonna come back to haunt us. People are gonna find out about the pool. And man, Jack is on one. He is feeling good. I said Jack, but I meant Joe.
Yeah, Joe, recently remissed of cancer. Yeah, he's feeling pretty good. And, man, this is not the way you do it, Joe. Ben and everybody get in the car, and Joe's like, I'm just going to take another walk, maybe pop out and get another drink. And even his wife is like, well, maybe I'll join you. And he's like, nah, you go on home.
Yeah.
You go on home.
Ooh.
Then he pops around to the Kmart or whatever and finds the lady from earlier, and he does a bad thing, Kev.
Yeah, this scene kind of broke my heart a little bit. So it's Jessica Tandy's playing Alma, his wife, and he's like, I'm gonna go do, let's go hit the town, and she's like, I'll come with you, Joe, and he's like, nah, you just go home.
And the whole car knows too. Everybody's like, oh, he's gonna go be unfaithful.
It's just
Joseph.
It hurt my heart. I mean, like you're kind of pulling for Joe because he's a lovable guy and he's got the kid. But that was tough, man. And then he goes and hooks up with this waitress.
Is she a waitress? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought when we first walked by the shop, I was like, is that a Kmart from 1980?
Yeah. Well,
which maybe it is.
Yeah, you remember like a lot of you're old enough to remember this. A lot of Kmarts and that sort of thing had lunch counters in them. The Kmart lunch counter was way better than it had any right to be. I'm going to go ahead and say that.
We're too poor to shop at Kmart. We're a Family Dollar family.
Oh, were you? Man, you missed out. They had the best chicken tenders. Yeah. You didn't have a telescope and you were shopping at Family Dollar like a chump.
Yeah, that's yep.
But you know what? We're in Florida at our retirement community. I won't hold it against you. Now, what I will say is that Jessica Tandy's character Alma certainly holds Joe's behavior against him, as she should. Joe, when he comes home feeling quite good about himself, Alma has put a Dear Joe letter on the door and is leaving him. She's going across the street to stay with her friend, who I believe is the dance instructor. And Joe is, well, he's upset. He's dejected. He's paying for his mistakes. Well, he goes.
You really learn how hard it is to leave someone when you live in the same nursing home facility. Like the only way that you can separate from someone is to die.
That's it.
Because she still has to see him at breakfast the very next morning.
Yep.
There's no escape.
Well, the next morning, Bernie and Joe happen to be sitting at the same table, and they get into a huge argument. Bernie, I should say Alma and a few folks come in, and they sit together at a separate table. And so Joe's got all those feelings inside him, and then Bernie and him get into this argument. And Bernie, they call him Bernie for a reason because he is dropping some burns.
Yeah, man, I don't remember specifically like any quotes.
He said,
goes that
hold
about
on.
his cancer and his wife.
I got you one. He said you might be feeling better now, Joe, but the only thing that's terminal is your marriage.
Yeah, dude.
Dude.
Fire. Like he slept on that one before. Like you don't just rattle that off in the heat of battle.
Well,
he jotted that one down on the back of a carton of smokes before he unleashed it.
That's right, he did. He was like, "I'm gonna tell Joe what for." A really fun factoid about that scene: the actor actually knocked out one of the orderlies. He was a boxer back in the day, and he lost some of his depth perception due to some damage from his eye. And during
this is Hume Cronin, right?
Yeah, Hume Cronin. Yeah, he actually threw a legit punch and just knocked out one of the guys that was playing the orderly, which was the orderlies were trying to break up him and Bernie. So it's kind of a fun little onset I guess it wasn't fun for the guy that got punched, but
I bet he loved it.
Little onset injury. During this, Bernie has shouted very loudly about 8 times, and he had to shout loudly in order for the senior citizens to hear it, but he said it about 8 times that they have the fountain of youth. Well, that's when Pops, with his super swift brain, puts together that it's the swimming pool that these guys have been going to. So the entire, and of course this was in like I don't know if they call it a cafe, I guess dining area, dining hall, restaurant, whatever. And this entire dining hall just empties of these seniors staging their own January 6th insurrection.
Yeah, they ran. I mean, it probably took them an hour and a half to run 300 yards, but they storm this pool.
Yeah.
They're falling over. They're falling down. A few died, actually. It was like
it was horrible.
It was like the Oregon Trail. Some of them didn't make it, but they get to this pool, and they're just fully clothed jumping into this pool, all bought in that this thing full of icky-looking dinosaur eggs will make them live forever.
The part that gets me is like 2 of the jerks just pull one of these cocoons out, and they're trying to smash it open on the side of the pool like they think it's a Cadbury egg.
Yeah, like what do you think is in there, guys?
So it ends up leading to something fairly tragic, especially for Walter's crew. He comes in, he sees this just cavalcade of senior citizens. He said, "Get out of my pool. What are you doing? Stop trying to smash the cocoon. What is wrong with you?
You're literally killing my friends."
It was Lord of the Flies, but with senior citizens.
It really was. It really was. They were unhinged.
And I mean, Walter has to, he goes full Brian Dennehy voice here and is just yelling at all of them to get them out of the pool. Well, eventually they leave, and Walter opens up the cocoon, probably the one the guys were banging on the side of the pool, and the little alien guy on the inside, he was just dried up beef jerky, just dead.
Oh, he wasn't good. He looked way too ripe, honestly. I think maybe they left him in there too long.
Yeah, that might have been what it is. It just took him a little too long to get back. But Walter informs us that the pool's life energy has been drained by all these senior citizens, much like a Denny's on a Sunday special. And
like a Brian Dennehy's.
Wow, that was good. I want to just take a second and appreciate that. Hold on.
Thanks.
Okay.
Can we also appreciate the creepiness of the overripe alien that hatched out of that thing?
Yeah, when I was a kid, it made me sad, but I also didn't like it. It kind of scared me a little bit.
It is. I mean, I think it does still has that effect. It is sad, scary.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it's like watching an old person die. We all experience that.
And we learned that the aliens can cry because Brian Dennehy, a.k.a. Walter, cries his tears.
Yeah.
He has never experienced, we find that out later, he's never experienced death of a friend before, is...
How privileged.
Right? Him and his alien privilege. Well, it's important to know the pool doesn't work anymore, and that's how we're going to know it in this next scene, because Bernie and Rose are back at their house, and Rose is sort of getting sleepy, but she's telling these beautiful stories from their life together about, oh, I'm so glad that I broke up with the boyfriend I was with to be with you. You've been the most wonderful, man I've ever known. All these really great things. And Bernie is obviously touched, and he goes to get her nightly medicine. And when he comes back, Rose there's no delicate way to say it. She has expired. She has passed away. And he takes her up in his arms, and he carries her over to that pool, and he puts her in that pool, and he's just splashing the water on her, trying anything he can to help her, to bring her back. But it doesn't work, does it, Travis?
No. Brian Dennehy shows up, and he's like, wait, you weren't one of the ones here from earlier? Oh, you didn't get the memo? Oh, no, the water thing's broken because all your friends came over here and sucked the life out of this pool. So there's nothing left for Rosebud. I'm sorry, nothing we can do. He didn't say it like that, but that's the gist.
That's the gist. You know what, really bothers me about it too is the guilt that Bernie must feel, because if he hadn't had his little hissy fit in the dining hall, then none of those seniors would have charged into the pool, and the pool would have still worked and might have saved Rose.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
It's tough. It's tough stuff. But unfortunately, she has passed away. And and also, this is kind of, I didn't even think about this. The way the movie's cut together is he's in the pool, he's splashing the water on her, he finds out it doesn't work, and then it cuts to her being taken out of his house. So he had to carry her dead body back to his house, put her back in the bed, and pretend that that's where she died so the paramedics could come pick her up. Ouch. And also they were like, why is she so wet?
What'd you do to her, man?
I was splashing water on her trying to wake her up. I don't know what he said, but that's it's something about the image of him carrying her back soaking wet but still dead. Ooh, that's going to keep me up tonight, Trav. I'm not going to sleep. But
well, I will say, I think I appreciated about this movie is that she, that is a source of life and it's a fountain of youth. And she dies, but it's final. Almost this movie, you'd expect there to be some MacGuffin where they bring her back and everybody's happy, but they're like, nah, bro, you opened your mouth too wide, you said too much when you shouldn't have, or you just waited too long to come around to this idea, because this guy's full of regrets. He's got them from different angles.
Yeah, but he doubles down and decides to just go with it, I guess. But we see Ben as Rose is being pulled away. He's overcome with his own sense of guilt and responsibility in this situation. So he goes to Walter and he apologizes for what happened. He says, I know I let you down. I wish things had been different. And Walter says, yeah, we're not going to be able to save those folks that are in the pool because the pool doesn't work anymore. And Ben says, well, can we get them back to the ocean? Would that help? And he says, yeah, but we don't have enough time. That's what Walter says. And Ben says,
what would the ocean do? I was confused about that. It's we'll just come back and get them later.
Well, I assume the ocean sort of keeps them charged because of the life force in the ocean.
Oh, okay.
In Alien Magic, maybe that's how it works.
That was the same stretch I was making, and I knew I was wrong. So I'm just happy to know that we're both thinking the same thing. Because I was like, oh, it'll be okay if you just put them back where you got them?
Yeah.
Well, so why would we move them to the pool? I don't know.
Well, I think the pool was the staging area. It was all right, so the water is stasis, and then you're sort of waking them up in the pool area, and then you get them awake, and then you can get them on the ship so that they can handle space travel. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. It's all dumb. It's all dumb. So they take the, but it's a nice gesture on behalf of Ben. So and maybe Walter's just sure, it'll help, buddy. Maybe it doesn't actually help. Maybe he's just doing it because he's such a nice guy and he wants Ben to feel a little bit better about killing everyone.
Yeah, I guess another idea could be you could come retrieve them later, whether they're dead or alive. But if they stay in this pool,
you definitely can't.
People are going to descend on this and muck with it, mess it up, and chop them up and look into it. Or we can go hide them back in the ocean and you can think about maybe another plan later.
Yeah, that makes more sense. It's perfect writing. Perfect writing. Well, Walter, touched by Ben and everyone else's help getting his crew, his compadres, and their cocoons back into the ocean, he says, I want to make you an offer. Why don't you come with us? We can, keep you healthy, alive, and let you see all kinds of cool shit out in space. And they think
what a nice
that's
thing to offer after you kill all his friends. He's like, you know what? You killed all my friends, but you know what? Now we got 29 empty beds aboard the ship. What do you think? Huh?
Oh no, I didn't think about that. That's the reason they got so much extra room on the ship.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right, so they decide, yes, they're going to take Walter up on the offer, and then Ben just keeps screwing up. He just can't keep his mouth shut. Like for example, if I knew about a Fountain of Youth, I wouldn't tell you anything, Travis. And so anyway, he says to his grandson, they're out fishing. For some reason, Grandpa's decided to just wear his slacks in the water instead of any number of the short shorts he has. He tells little
was
David.
Was this an impromptu fishing trip?
To me, it feels like there was a longer scene that they cut for time, which I can't imagine because the movie's still too damn long. But like, it feels like maybe there was more to the reason he waded in his pants, but they just were like, "Nah, we can cut it. It'll be fine, whatever." And so, little David finds out that Grandpa just spills the beans. He says, "Hey, I'm gonna go be with these aliens in outer space and live forever." And then his grandson's like, "Can I come?" He's like, "No."
Yeah, it's weird.
Just no.
It's like, first of all, Papa, are you in a cult? This sounds very, very Hale Bop.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Should I tell Mom? He's like, "You don't tell anybody.
Yeah,
You don't tell anybody what I just said." I don't even know why I told an 8-year-old boy. I don't even know why I'm fishing near this interstate wearing khakis. But I know that you shouldn't tell anybody what I just said, and I'm going to go hang out with aliens and never die. But you will die one day. You will. I won't.
That's about right. That's the gist of the monologue there. Well, Ben obviously spills beans. That's going to come back later. Art I love this. He just goes to the bank, takes out all his money, and just... boom, he makes it rain on people in the streets. He's just handing out $100 bills like Travis when he was in Vegas.
No, I never did that. Did I?
I'm sorry. It is supposed to stay in Vegas. I apologize, bud. Well, Art's out there. I'm just handing out all of his money. People are cheering for him on the street. And Joe has a somewhat more somber conversation. He goes and sees his wife, Alma, and he says, they've made this offer to us. I want to know if you're going. If you're not, I would rather stay here, live another 6 months with you, and die than go and be with the aliens forever and you not be there. Smooth.
Yeah.
Smooth.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing a lot of catch up. I mean, I don't know. I don't really trust this guy that much.
I think he means it. To me, it felt genuine. I mean, it felt like he's like, man, I have just found the intergalactic get out of jail free card here, but it felt genuine. Like it was a good performance from the actor, and also I just felt like the character probably genuinely meant it.
Yeah, I guess part of him too was like, I guess if that waitress ain't gonna go up on the ship, and
oh my God, that would be hilarious if he went to her first.
Heck, if you don't go, then I won't have anybody to have sex with. So I might as well just stay here and have sex with you till I die.
What if he went? Like that's the scene that needs to be in this movie. They cut so much nothing out before, but like he goes to the waitress and she turns him down first, thinking he's crazy, and then he's like, I guess I'll go ask my wife.
I think that's what happened.
I think it is. Well, Ben and Art go around and they invite a whole bunch of other folks to go with them because, again, there's about 30 spots on the boat. And, oh, by the way, Art and the dance instructor decide to get married, too, before they go to outer space because Lord knows you can't get married in space. Well, it is a great exodus in the old folks' home. They're all sneaking out while the orderly Clint Howard is asleep. And you know what? It would have gone fine if that doggone Ben had not spilled the beans to his grandson David.
Yeah, David's hanging out with his telescope like a privileged white kid, going to watch Papa go off into the space to see Space Jesus. And Mom comes in and is like, "Why are you crying? I thought you liked looking at the moon." And he was like, "No, something's bothering me," or whatever. And she's like, "Tell me what's going on with Papa. That's my dad and that's my mom." And he's like, "I don't want to say nothing about it. So I'm not telling." But he's spills some beans. Now they got to run over and find Papa and Nana. But guess what? Nobody's in their rooms. All these old folks have disappeared.
It does, man. His daughter stirs up a whole thing, and so the police are out there. They're looking for all these senior citizens who are loading themselves on a boat. There's a real quick thing where Bernie shows up while they're loading on the boat, and he's like, "Yeah, I decided to stay here because this is where I belong." And then everybody else was like, "Yeah, get out of here, you jerk."
Yeah, you kind of ruined everything for everybody, Bernie. Get on out of here, man.
No, he gets a nice hug, and they respect his choice. Although Joe does take the opportunity to give him a little shove off the boat, which is kind of fun. So they're all loaded on this boat. They're trying to get away, but of course, for reasons, the boat doesn't just crank like it normally does. There's a big issue. Although I will say he was working on the engine earlier in the movie, so maybe they tried to explain a little bit of that. Doesn't matter. The boat's not cranking, so the police are walking around with David, the grandson, and the daughter, and then David sees all this. Somehow David, maybe it's his young eyes, as opposed to all of these police officers, sees all the seniors on this boat, and he does, I swear, from the dock to the boat, he runs, he hustles, and he jumps off the end of the dock and lands on the boat. It's 35 yards. It has to be he jumped 35 yards.
And he doesn't even, his hands don't even hit the rails. He cracks and breaks at least 4 ribs on that rail. You can pause it and look at it at home, folks. This kid broke it. You ever wonder whatever happened to Barrett Oliver? He died making this movie.
He did. Thank God they did the on the boat scenes first. Well, he manages to make this impossible jump, and this means that the Coast Guard has to call out every boat and helicopter they have to chase a boat full of senior citizens and this one kid out into the sort of middle of the ocean. And I mean, this just goes on forever. I mean, forever. Where are they going to get there? They're not going to get there. Oh, you pull the boat over. You've got a kid on there. You can't have a kid on a boat. The Coast Guard. It's a whole thing. Well, eventually, David's mom yells to him, "Hey, come back to me. Don't leave me. What are you doing? You're my son." And David hugs his grandparents. Changes this kid. He changes his mind. He just goes for it. Changes his mind. He jumps off the boat in the middle of the ocean. And so all of the Coast Guard ships decide to stop chasing the senior citizen boat in order to save David, which is probably a good call.
Yeah, let's forget those other 30 people. Let's get that little one down there.
Yeah, well, he's got the most life left to live, so I think it makes a lot of sense.
And they are on a boat. They're
okay. True. Yeah, they're good. Well, the alien spacecraft is showing up. It blasts some sort of weather ray it uses. I don't know what it is, but it creates a whole bunch of fog to obscure the fact that this scene goes on for what feels like 45 minutes, where the boat's being lifted into the spaceship, and that boom, they're gone. They disappear. My question for you is this: all right, you're Walter. Your job was to come back to Earth and get these cocoons. Mm-hmm. You show up back to the ship with no cocoons and 30 strangers. How much trouble are you in?
Yeah, you'd think he's at least fired, if not in jail forever. I don't know if he could get by with like, "Hey, this is how we found them. So this is them.
This is them. They're human now. I know
They're
they
human.
don't. Yeah, we're good." Yeah. I don't know. I was just thinking his annual review's not going to be great this year. Well, anyway, boom, they're gone. There is I'm sorry. I should mention there's a quick scene where Jack Boner decides to stay himself. So he gets a stack of cash to pay for his boat that gets lifted in the spaceship, and he jumps off. Anyway, there's no way that he doesn't go to jail for murdering these senior citizens, because the story that's concocted is that the boat sank with all of the senior citizens on it, and they all died. And we see a funeral scene. Again, this movie just keeps going, and there's a little wink and a nod to the camera. Everybody's sad except for David, because he knows the truth, and he looks up at the sky, probably stares directly into the sun for at least 15 minutes with those broken ribs of his, and smiles because he knows Pop is in heaven with Space Jesus.
And what wouldn't fill your heart with more joy than knowing that for certain?
Nothing. I mean, honestly, that is the end of the movie, and it filled my heart with joy.
Yeah.
That the movie was over.
If you had 24 hours to decide to hop on a small boat that was going to take you to everlasting life, or stick around, what are you doing?
I'm on the boat.
You're on the boat. You're
I
out.
don't need 24 hours. I'm on the boat. I mean, like,
Just
look,
gonna-
I've lived on Earth. I know what the deal is here.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know what the deal is in outer space, but I want to check it out.
We had the same conversation with Close Encounters of the Third Kind because it kind of has the same ending where people last second are like, "That's it, I'm out. I'm just going to go live with aliens."
Yeah, is that would that be your? I'm trying to remember what you. I think you came down on the not going with aliens side of things.
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of stuff I want to do still.
You've worked so hard to collect all those video games.
I've got, I mean, I just got a degree on this planet, and I haven't even had a chance to really use it. I got a ton of I got a backlog of video games. It depends on what I could bring. If I could bring my video games, sure.
All right, you can bring one handheld console in the entire catalog. That's all you can bring when you bring.
Probably the Switch, because then you can get a lot of the, you can get a lot of the old stuff they upload on the Switch Online.
That makes sense. That's good. I was thinking a Steam Deck.
Oh, that's also a good idea. Yeah.
Full on Steam library. And man, it's going to keep updating. There's always going to be new games on that Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Eventually we'll be able to play them.
Update. Yeah. But yeah, I think it was pretty fun movie, like you said. Probably could have cut about most of it, but I think it had its entertaining moments. It was nothing like I thought it was going to be my whole life, really, because I was born the same year this came out. I've always seen the cover for this. I thought it was going to be higher science fiction. I had no idea what was going on with this. I didn't know what planet it was going to take place on. I didn't know that it was honestly mostly a comedy, because it kind of is in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad ending, a very Disney ending, but the ride up pretty funny. This is not what I expected, and in that way, I enjoyed it.
Well, you know what I expect? Some post-credit reviews.
You got it. Here we go. 5 stars from Wolfer, October 2022. This gonna be me and my bros.
Yes, yes. This is all I want out of. I'll never. Let's face it. We're of a generation we'll never be able to retire because there won't be any money there to do it. But if we are, and we can move to a retirement community, this is you and me, Trav. You, me, and Harvest.
I thought you wrote this review. Actually, are you Wolfer?
If I was, I could keep the secret.
Yeah. We got 3 stars from Matt Lynch. He's not feeling too great about it, I guess. Just from August of 2020. He says, just when I was thinking, this is pretty all right, but could use a breakdancing scene, bam! And we didn't harp on the breakdancing scene, but it is dumb.
It's real dumb. It's real ridiculous. And they oh my God, if they just done a little bit of it, but they slow roll into the breakdance, he starts doing a robot, and then he does a moonwalk, and then he's it's so dumb.
So dumb. Then we've got 2.5 stars from a one letterboxd user who goes by simply Pube.
Mm-hmm.
This is from November of 2018.
Classy.
This is actually a week after my daughter was born. Pube watches Cocoon and comes out with this. Says, it's fine that Don Amici won the Academy Award for this and all, but the Oscars should have gone to Steve Guttenberg's penis. That monster has a screen presence like no other. I agree. Where you stand?
I mean, I like I said, Steve's got a Gutenberg.
He sure does. Now, folks that were low on it here in the post-credit reviews, we've got a 1-star from Arch, February 2017. Here we go. What a wet, sloppy mess this is. I thought I was going to give this movie a pass, maybe something to shed a tear over 40 years from now. But then the old man started breakdancing, and this movie's a slog. I hit the fast forward when I thought things were wrapping up, but the movie wasn't wrapping up. The movie doesn't end. It keeps going for an eternity until you get sick of it and shut it off. There are aliens in this movie, but they're just mildly in the background. Their influence doesn't build up to anything profound. They're just there, hanging out.
I mean, God. All right. Yeah. I mean, it does stretch on. I hate to belabor that point, but boy, if there was a director's cut where they actually just cut some of the movie, that would be outstanding. I think honestly, about 20 minutes off of this runtime and this movie would be tight. It'd be tight goodness with hilarious old men doing hijinks and junk.
Yeah. I feel like they built a lot of the sets, and they were like, we already got the Coast Guard out here. We have to at least put 10 minutes of that in the movie. They're out here.
Well, on a budget of $17.5 million, Cocoon went on to gross $85.3 million. Now, this film does deserve praise for bringing together an amazing ensemble cast of seasoned performers, when in Hollywood, it is customary to call an actor over the hill past the age of 30. All right? An early Ron Howard film, the movie wears its sentimentality on its sleeve, and you know what? I'm going to say it's all the better for it. Watching this movie as someone who, is frankly closer to the great closed door of death than when I first was seeing this movie 20 years ago, I can appreciate the film approaching it with, some optimism for a change. Yes, Travis, we all get older, but we're also still allowed to be interesting and have a little fun once in a while, okay? All right? Cocoon. Now, it spawned a sequel that, really no one was interested in, because the first film, while perhaps not saying everything there is to say about the topics of aging, grief, and the fear of the unknown, said just enough to give a little hope to a couple of aging podcasters who are one day closer to the retirement community in Florida than they were yesterday.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's true. Wow. I didn't realize there was a sequel. Have you seen it?
It's literally so derivative of the first movie. I mean, it's got a lot of the cast. Ron Howard didn't come back and direct it, but it's got a lot of the same cast. You still got, your Brimleys, your Gutenbergs, blah, blah,
Really?
blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So, I mean, if you're looking for a very derivative follow-up to this, the movies themselves are actually based on a trilogy of books that were big hits back in the 80s. I've never read them, but I do know that is a fact.
Interesting. So they didn't fulfill the trilogy in the movie format.
No, but man, the way they're bringing back every movie trilogy from the 80s, I could see this getting the threequel.
Yeah. All of the main actors from this film are in fact dead, except for Steve Gutenberg and his penis.
Well, Travis, how about you give us a little hint, maybe just a little taste, a little appetizer for what movie we're going to cover on the next episode?
Well, you told me that we were going to have a guest on the next episode, and I said, well, who are you going to call?
I love it. That's it. You don't need any more than that. If you don't get that, then I don't think we can be friends. And also, even if we're not friends, if you enjoyed this episode, you might like our other podcasts. You can catch Travis on all the podcasts over there on the Polymedia Network. And, well, not all of them, but a good chunk of them. How about, which one you want to shout out most here, Trav?
Tales of the Lesser Medium.
I love it. That's a good one, man. You can also catch me over on the Board Game Podcast, Blue Peg, Pink Peg, and you can catch both of us live on stage with Big Lick Conspiracy doing improv comedy. Now, to keep this podcast reaching for the stars, consider supporting us on Patreon. There is a tier for everybody, and it gets you access to one seriously cool Discord community. Of course, I've got to thank the man, the myth, the legend, Harvest Black, for the stream of youthful music. Yeah, that's right. And just like our Uncle Doug always says,
well, I'll tell you, with the way nature's been cheating us, I don't mind cheating her a little.